March 23, 1945. The western bank of the Rhine River near Wesel, Germany. Before dawn, a low gray sky presses down on the river. Smoke drifts across the water in uneven bands. The Rhine is swollen with spring runoff, nearly 400 yards wide, fast and bitterly cold. On the eastern bank, German artillery positions are mostly silent. Some guns have been destroyed. Others remain intact but have no ammunition left to fire. Across the river, the United States Ninth Army prepares to cross. This moment marks the beginning of the end for the largest remaining concentration of German forces in the West. Within 4 weeks, more than 300,000 German soldiers, an entire army group in all but name, will be surrounded, broken apart, and forced to surrender. The place they are about to enter is the Ruhr. The Ruhr is not a single city. It is a vast industrial basin stretching roughly 60 miles from east to west and 30 miles from north to south. Essen, Dortmund, Duisburg, Bochum, dozens of cities and towns lie packed tightly together. Coal mines, steel mills, rail yards, canals, and factories dominate the landscape. For decades, this region has been the industrial heart of Germany. In 1945, it becomes a trap. By late March, German forces in the West are exhausted. The failure of the Ardennes offensive has drained manpower and equipment that cannot be replaced. Fuel is critically scarce. Ammunition is rationed. Divisions exist on paper that no longer exist in reality. Units are made up of wounded veterans returned to duty, teenage conscripts, older reservists, and fragments of shattered formations pulled together under unfamiliar officers. Opposing them are the armies of the Western Allies at full strength. American forces alone number more than 3 million men in Europe. Their supply lines run unbroken from the ports of Normandy and Antwerp to the front. They possess complete air superiority, deep reserves of armor, and artillery ammunition measured in millions of rounds. The German forces defending the Ruhr fall under Army Group B, commanded by Field Marshal Walter Model. Model is known as a skilled defensive commander, a man sent to collapsing fronts to hold them together through discipline and improvisation. But by March 1945, even his reputation cannot overcome the reality he faces. Earlier in the month, to the south, the U.S. First Army has already crossed the Rhine at Remagen, capturing the Ludendorff Bridge intact before it collapses days later. That crossing gives the Allies a foothold east of the river. Now, to the north, Operation Plunder begins. On March 23rd, American and British forces crossed the Rhine in the largest coordinated river assault of the Western Front. The U.S. Ninth Army crosses near Wesel using assault boats, amphibious vehicles, and pontoon bridges. Artillery fires in massive concentrations. Allied aircraft dominate the sky, striking German positions, roads, and rail lines. German resistance is scattered and disorganized. Within days, Allied forces are pushing rapidly eastward. The plan is simple in concept, immense in execution. The U.S. First Army, already east of the Rhine, will drive north. The U.S. Ninth Army will drive south. Their objective is to meet east of the Ruhr and encircle everything inside. The distance between the two advancing armies is less than 50 miles. Inside the Ruhr, German units attempt to reposition, but communications are failing. Telephone lines are cut, radios break down or are destroyed. Orders are issued, then contradicted, then never received at all. Fuel shortages immobilize vehicles. Trains sit useless on shattered rail lines. Constant Allied air attacks make daylight movement nearly impossible. American armored columns advance along roads and across open ground. Towns fall in rapid succession. In some places, German units fight briefly and withdraw. In others, resistance collapses immediately. Volkssturm militia, often boys and elderly men, exist largely in name, incapable of stopping mechanized forces. On April 1, 1945, elements of the U.S. First and Ninth Armies meet near the town of Lippstadt. The Ruhr pocket is sealed. Inside the encirclement are an estimated 300,000 to 325,000 German soldiers. Even at the time, no one knows the exact number. Records are incomplete. Units overlap. Thousands of men are detached from their original formations. But the scale is undeniable. It is the largest encirclement of German forces achieved by the Western Allies during the war. Field Marshal Model now faces an impossible situation. The pocket measures roughly 40 miles in length and 20 miles in width. American forces surround it on all sides. Allied aircraft patrol constantly overhead. Roads are cratered, bridges are destroyed, supply depots are bombed. German units inside have little food, almost no fuel, and dwindling ammunition. Model requests permission to break out to the east. The request is denied. Adolf Hitler declares the Ruhr a fortress. He orders it held at all costs. Surrender is forbidden. Resistance is demanded to the last man. Model understands what this means. He knows the pocket cannot be held. There is no realistic path to escape, no possibility of relief, and no means of sustained defense. Over the next 2 weeks, American forces reduce the pocket methodically. There is no single dramatic assault. Pressure is applied everywhere at once. Infantry advances from town to town. Armor pushes through gaps and along highways. Artillery pounds known defensive positions. When resistance stiffens, it is bypassed and isolated. German formations fragment further. Divisions lose cohesion. Regiments operate independently. In many cases, battalions and companies surrender on their own initiative when surrounded. By mid-April, the Ruhr pocket is split into smaller sections. Essen falls after limited fighting. Dortmund follows. Duisburg, heavily damaged by bombing, offers little organized resistance. The industrial infrastructure that once powered Germany's war effort lies shattered and silent. On April 15, 1945, elements of the U.S. 1st and Ninth Armies split the Ruhr pocket in two near Hagen. That same day, Walter Model dissolves what remains of his command structure. He issues no formal surrender order. Instead, he allows subordinate commanders to act as they see fit. Some continue fighting briefly, most do not. On April 18, 1945, organized resistance inside the Ruhr pocket effectively ends. What follows is not a single surrender, but a continuous one. German soldiers emerge from forests, factories, basements, and mine shafts in steady streams. Some march under improvised white flags. Others leave their weapons by the roadside and wait. Groups range from a handful of men to entire battalions. American frontline units are unprepared for the scale of what they are receiving. Infantry divisions designed to fight now become custodial forces. Engineers build temporary enclosures from barbed wire. Open fields, racetracks, and abandoned airfields are turned into holding areas that soon contain tens of thousands of prisoners each. Rations are limited. German soldiers have been underfed for weeks. American supply systems prioritize advancing combat units. Prisoners receive basic sustenance, bread, soup, water, often after long delays. Despite the strain, discipline holds. There are no mass reprisals, no organized resistance within the camps. The war for these men is finished. The prisoners represent nearly every remaining element of Germany's Western military: remnants of the 15th Army, elements of the 5th Panzer Army, Luftwaffe ground personnel pressed into infantry roles, anti-aircraft crews, naval troops reassigned inland, members of the Volkssturm, barely trained and poorly armed. What they share is exhaustion. Weeks of bombardment, hunger, constant movement, and uncertainty have eroded any will to continue. The collapse is not driven by panic, but by the absence of alternatives. There is no fuel for a breakout, no ammunition for defense, no air support, no reinforcement coming. The encirclement had worked exactly as intended. American officers later note that many German commanders surrender formally, presenting sidearms and documents as if protocol might still matter. Others simply state that their unit no longer exists. The physical destruction of the Ruhr is immense. Coal production has stopped, steel output has ceased, transportation networks are shattered. Germany's primary industrial region has been neutralized without a prolonged urban siege. With the Ruhr eliminated, Germany loses its last ability to sustain modern war in the West. Even had the conflict continued longer, the resources to rebuild no longer exist. Field Marshal Model does not surrender. On April 21, 1945, near Duisburg, he takes his own life. The destruction of Army Group B removes the last major organized German force in Western Germany. The road to the Elbe is open. American armies advance rapidly, meeting scattered and collapsing resistance. Within weeks, Allied and